Check it out. You can find God in the timber, find Jesus in the pines, find heaven out yonder in the river, and I thank God that He's mine. And if you like what you're hearing, well, you're already a fan, then go and tell all your friends and your mom and dad. Go spread the word to everybody you know. You can find God in the timber, find Jesus in the pines, find heaven out yonder in the river, and I thank God that He's mine. And if you like what you're hearing, well, you're already a fan, and go and tell all your friends and your mom and dad. Go spread the word to everybody you know. You can find God in the timber.
And what's up, y'all, to another week of God in the Timber podcast. As you can see, I got my beautiful wife with me tonight, and this is our first video podcast, so I don't know how this is going to go, but I don't know if you saw on the God in the Timber Facebook page how many people was cheering you on to do this podcast. Actually had a hater on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he told me that he did posted some pictures, said that I was wrong for hunting animals,
Oh,
but it is what it is.
killing baby.
Yeah. So this podcast is going to be a hard one for the men out there, but it needs to be said, and it needs to be taken from your perspective of how trialing, or how big of a trial it is to date an avid, or be married to, not just date, for the girls out there that's dating somebody, an avid outdoorsman. She's not going to hold anything back. As I say about my wife, she will tell you straight up how it is, whether you like it or not.
I
So
mean, you just make me sound like a ray of sunshine.
you are just a ray. If you see me have my phone, I got all the questions on my phone. So to get started, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Everybody knows you're my wife, but what are you outside of being my wife?
Okay. I am outside of being a wife. I am a mom. I feel like that is one of my main identities is being a mom. I homeschool one of my kids. Two of our kids are still in public school. They may change after this year. But I also work as a substitute teacher at the school where our two kids who are still in school attend. That's where I feel like in this season of life right now, that's where I feel like I am supposed to be as far as work goes. I'm able to be there for the kids. The kids are there for me just as much as I am for them. But yeah, I feel like most of who I am is I'm a wife and a mom, and that's basically how I feel like I am right now in this part of life.
And let me preface this whole podcast saying I work a lot.
Yes, a lot. It's nothing for Kyle to work 60 hours a week at least. I mean, that's nothing. Some weeks it's more than that. I always just say 60 plus hours. So we have 3 girls who are very active. One of them is a competitive dancer. She dances year round. 2 of our other 2 daughters, they play every sport basically that they can play. And so like sometimes feel like a single mom, but not a single mom. But just a lot of the load on, who gets the kids to where they need to be. That's my job, basically.
So the reason I wanted to preface that is
Preface,
however you say it.
preface.
That is because there's going to be people out there that's married to a blue collar husband that is an avid outdoorsman. We'll get into that just a little bit later, but like the balancing of things gets stressful. It gets stressful. Not for us, because like I've mentioned this before, I got severe ADHD. So if I got my mindset on something, it's going to happen. But how an avid outdoorsman that's also working 60 plus hours a week, how much stress we're putting on y'all. So
That's our washing machine.
Yeah, that's our washing machine.
Sorry.
So we'll get into that here shortly. So when we first got married, but when we first started dating, what did you think hunting season was going to look like?
I mean, I guess I looked at it as a hobby. And so like for me, hobby was something that was done. A hobby, in my opinion, is something that is done if you have the time to do it, if you have the finances to do it. Looked at hunting as more of a hobby, and still, well, I guess we can probably touch on that later.
Yeah, we touched on that.
But I did. I looked at hunt as a hobby, like scrapbooking.
So was it
You know.
different than you expected?
In your eyes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And in a lot of people's, men and women's eyes, yes.
So what surprised you about it the most early on in our relationship?
I remember one time you shot, I don't know when exactly. This is one time in our marriage that I thought, I am married, like my husband is off of his rocker. You shot.
That's still probably still on the table.
Yeah, it is. Those cards are still there for sure. He had shot a buck, and he called me, and he is crying.
Mittens. Was it whenever I killed
But we had
Mittens?
been married for a long time.
Yeah, that was the one right after Daddy passed away.
Maybe that's when it was, but
Yeah.
but maybe it was just he was emotional because of that. But
So
I was like, he's a grown, big, manly, bearded man, and he's crying because he's shot. I mean, he wasn't like actually like crying, but like his voice was breaking. He was very emotional.
I'm emotional about every deer I kill. If I ever lose that emotion about taking that turkey, which I've never killed a turkey. I've
killed more than he has with my vehicle, by the way.
Yeah.
More turkeys.
So I get emotional with every animal, but that one, Mittens, he's hanging on the wall. The story before that went the day before, killed her first deer. And then my dad was always the person I called after I killed a deer. Well, I can no longer call that number. So.
Oh, so I'm like second best, basically.
At that time, when it come to hunting, I ain't gonna lie. I always call Daddy first.
I would not be first best whenever it comes to hunting, because like, why would I be first why would I be your first person to call? Because I'm like,
yay. Okay, so now we're getting into some of the deep stuff, and we're going to take our time on these so she can actually get her point across. And whenever I was typing this up, I knew exactly that I was going to have to, because I'm a real bad person of defending myself, that I was going to have to take a step back and let you talk, because somebody somewhere needs to hear this. So from your side.
But now this is also to say that just because I feel this way doesn't mean that I'm 100% in the right. He's 100% in the wrong. There's been times that I've overreacted about. Trust me,
Hey, we've made this work for 10 years.
By the grace of God.
From your side, what does hunting season actually look like from a day-to-day basis? Well, let me back up on that, like, because I'm working so much, so my off days.
Okay.
That would be easier because I work so much.
Unfair. It feels unfair. It feels and in moments it feels unfair to the kids. It feels unfair to me because, gosh, you don't realize how loud the washing machine is until it turns off. But the kids don't understand. The kids like the idea of going hunting with you, but they also have lives of their own too. They have a busy schedule too. And it feels unfair to me that, again, and I'm not complaining about having to get the kids wherever it is that they have to go, but it feels unfair to me that I'm still, regardless of whether it's my off day or not, I'm the one that, I still have to get them here and there and everywhere. And it also feels unfair because, all of these things that I'm saying to you guys, like
she's told me.
I've told him this, and
this ain't nothing new for me.
Communication for us, like, it's huge for us. And so, but anyways, another reason that it feels unfair to me is that he, during hunting seasons, on his off days, it's like a no-brainer. Or he will tell me, hey, on this day, I'm hunting all day. And like, I don't get luxury, I guess. And I hate to say it like that, but maybe that's not the right choice of words that I should use, but like if I wanted to plan a day with me and my friends to go and do something without kids or without a husband either, and like just a girl's day, I mean, I love you, but I mean, a girl's day is nice, but it's not, I'm not able to just say, I mean, I guess I could be able to just say, hey, don't make plans for this day because I'm going here. Just don't. That's not really what I do. And I guess that feels unfair would be the word
That's understandable.
for me and the kids.
See, like I understand that a lot, and there's times where I guess like this past, what was it, Saturday, maybe?
Was it when we had games and dance all day?
No, whenever but that was games and dance that day, Saturday. I walked in the woods and literally sat down. I was like, because I have been dealing with back issues this year also, so I haven't really. And I'm not defending myself. I haven't hunted much this year because of my back issues and with work. But I walked in the woods and sat down. I was like, "Hey, tell the kids let's go eat breakfast." And I walked back out of the woods.
Yeah.
I see the unfairness because like Saturday, and I've already told her this, and this is kind of where this podcast idea came from because me and her talked about this the other day. Saturday, I told her, I was like, Saturday, I'm hunting all day. Well, come to find out, we got Christmas with my brother and them that's coming up from Florida. And I was like, what? Again, can't hunt all day, but I get to spend time with family. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I have a really bad sense of humor, guys, probably. I don't know if that's obvious yet.
We are going to skip over some of these questions just because like she just answered a bunch of them in that, like, how did these moments make you feel? You answered that. How does it affect routines? So like evenings or responsibilities at home? And I'm going to tell a story on myself here.
Okay.
The trailer we was remodeling last year or year before last. She begged me to put the underpinning up that we had forever. And it was during hunting season and it did not get put up. So
It did.
it did, but not during hunting
did.
season.
Yeah, it actually, I want to say that it did because it was the very first year that we had like 0-degree weather ever. And I'm listen, like this, like we have no choice. Like this has to be. Aside from it, just I didn't like the way it looked.
I threw it up there.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about without the underpinning, like before the underpinning was put up. Besides the fact that, but like literally with those exposed pipes and everything, like it had to be done before that. 'Cause I mean, it got down to like 2 degrees, and then the wind chill was, I don't know if it got down that low, but the wind chill was really low. Well, I mean, we're right in the middle of remodeling this house, but this was kind of my call on like holding off on the remodel because I wanted to get through Christmas and everything. Well, we just really don't have time to. But yeah, that is a big. Anytime that hunting comes before family like needs or I mean even wants, like I have a problem with that.
Oh yeah.
And I know that remodeling is definitely, it's definitely a want, but like we have everything to do it out in the building out there.
We've used all of it. All we got left. Well, yeah, we got the stuff to do the walls in there and paint. We got to buy the baseboards.
Okay, so literally everything except for the baseboards. But like I said, I got
everything out there too.
Christmas.
I got everything out there to finish the podcast for you. You see how that went too.
And
we're doing a recording inside of our kitchen.
Yeah.
So this is going out to the masses. When I say masses, I mean all like 4 listeners that tune in every week.
Man.
Thank y'all for that.
Yes.
What do you wish?
Numbers.
Exactly. It's about the glory of God.
Yes.
What do you wish more outdoorsmen I'm going to say outdoorsmen because you're my wife, really understood about their wives during hunting season? So I guess the easiest way to put that is, how do you think we should, from the outside looking in, what should we be like looking at, like how it treats y'all? Should we be focused? How should we focus on that? Like, how could we focus on having best of both worlds?
I think if you have children, make sure that your kids, if it's something that they want to do, make sure to make it a point that the kids are involved. He takes our youngest daughter. She loves going and picking up the sticks is what she calls them, but he will he has her stand behind him and he'll shoot the target with the bow. And then he'll shoot all the arrows. And then when he shot them all, they walk together to the target and she gets the sticks for him. I'm sure she probably calls them arrows. She's 7 now, so she probably calls them by the right word, but she used to say picking up the sticks. And I mean, I know that when you take your kids hunting, you're not really going to kill any. I mean, sometimes you will, I'm sure, sometimes. But if they're anything like my kids, like they're gonna talk, they're gonna rustle the leaves, they're gonna
Gotta have snacks.
gotta have the snacks.
And they pick the loudest snack.
Mm-hmm. And but it's not really about going and killing anything,
It's about
really.
introducing them.
Yeah. And I mean, and you may have kids that are just not interested. I mean, only one of ours Ella's really the only one that's
Right now, Ella's really the only one that's interested.
She's older too.
And Ella's interested because she was with me whenever I killed that coyote, but she tells everybody that we weren't going to see that until she picked the spot.
I mean, I'm not saying, yes, I wasn't trying to cut you off there, but I'm not saying that like your wives have to, like, I am not a very outdoorsy person. I'm just not. I mean,
I've heard the podcast of your camping trail.
I try to respect that he is, and I may make jokes. It's like whenever I said boo-hoo earlier, what was that? What did I say about? I don't know, just the sarcasm, is there. I do make jokes, but like I do at the same time try to respect what he loves to do. But I guess advice that I could give as far as your wives go is if you get up and you go hunting that morning, let her do something. And I don't want to say the word let, like it's like you got
to have a balance, I guess, is what you're trying to say.
I mean, but take it upon yourself to suggest that she goes, and even if it's something as simple as going into your bedroom and shutting the door and having alone time with God, or
doing a sticker book.
Yeah, I love adult sticker books. They're like little scene books to where like it's so calming. When I say adult sticker books, I don't mean like, adult sticker books. I mean like, but anyways, like just take it upon yourself to suggest that she goes and takes however long of a shower that she needs to take, or go out with her friends, or I don't just take it upon yourself to see that she needs something for her too.
And a lot of times during hunting season, I'm terrible. I'll be the first one to tell you, I'm terrible at planning stuff out during hunting season. But I feel like I'm really good about planning stuff out, like surprise dates and stuff like that during summer and stuff like that. And I guess that's a fault of mine is because I don't do nothing in the summer besides work. And that's it. Like, I really don't do nothing fun in the summertime. We go fishing every now and then and camping every now and then, but I feel like summertime is my time with you. So we do a lot of stuff in the summertime. Heck, you went on 3 vacations last year.
I did.
I only went on 1 because of work. So what I'm going to put in that, outdoorsmen or guys out there that's listening, you got to have a balance. It has to be a balance with your wife, a balance with your kids. I'll be the first one to tell you now we got a video, you might actually see my Yorkie that y'all hear all the time walk behind me. But there was times, 3 years ago that I wouldn't come to the kids' basketball games because I was in the woods.
Yeah. Church.
Church.
Like if the weather was perfect on a Sunday morning, he would be in the woods. He was not going to be at church.
Now I don't go hunting on Sundays unless it's Sunday evenings. And I literally went into the woods the other day for 2 hours before the ball game.
Yeah.
Then I come out, went back that evening after the ball game and missed an 8-point. Woo! Still mad about that here. So look, we've already discussed this, but I'll go ahead and ask it. So looking back, what are some things that I've done wrong during hunting season? That I have done wrong, not what everybody else has done wrong, that I have done wrong. And if you don't say it, I will answer one of them that I know I did wrong.
You something that I can figure it is.
Think about the baby shower at the hospital.
Baby shower at the hospital.
Whenever Nancy was first built and they was doing the baby floor, and I told you can go by yourself.
Oh, I don't even remember that. Probably just blocked.
So I'll tell
Blocked
that
that
story on
out.
myself. And this was wrong with me, but it was one of them perfect days. Perfect days. Well, she was pregnant with,
It would have been Sailor. I never.
it had to be Sailor. And they had this new hospital get built, and they was allowing everybody a tour on the baby floor that's going to have a baby there. I come home from hunting, and she's all dolled up, ready to go. And I was like, where are we going? Because I forgot about it. Where are we going? She said, we're going to visit this hospital. And I said, you can go by yourself. I'm not going. And yeah, that was a fight for like 4 days. That was a big fight. So I did do wrong there.
I don't remember that, but I mean, I'm sure it happened.
I think he was pregnant with Calvary, baby.
Yeah, because I had Sailor.
You had Sailor at ECU.
Like you're telling all these people.
I tell them all the time I live in Waterloo.
Okay, all right. I just didn't know how like.
I just don't tell them what lands I hunt on. I just tell them it's Alabama land.
Think the point in this is, I mean, there have been a lot of things. There have been a lot of things that.
We've talked about a lot of them.
But I mean, I've had my faults too, you know.
We could do a podcast about that later.
The biggest thing is that I feel like the communication, like I am with him, like I let everybody else run me over and it makes him so mad. But with him, I tell him like, hey, you've done this and it's made me mad. And he may like deny and defend, but he used to. There used to be a whole lot of like trying to justify things that you did and try to make things seem right or seem okay. But
I remember I used to tell you all the time, you knew what you was getting into when you married me.
Yeah, I did. He used to tell me that you knew I was a hunter before you married me. And I remember one time I said, well, I'm not so sure that if I knew that it was going to be like this, that I would have married you. I know that's ugly, but it was a for real feeling. Like, I mean, it hasn't always been. We've grown a lot.
Oh, yeah.
We both have
been married 10 years. We've moved
4,000 times.
5 times, remodeled 4 houses. So, yeah, we've learned how to communicate and how to get over some things. Okay, so what are some ways that I have gotten better over the years?
Just by, like, realizing that my feelings are valid and that, like, I mean, sometimes I flip out about stuff that I ain't got no business flipping out about. Sure. But for the most part, I'm talking about just in general. Like if I'm like I'm touched out, the kids are being too loud or whatever, like I get just like, I feel like any other woman is. But for the most part, you see that, like, I don't just get mad, I don't get my feelings hurt just to get my feelings hurt.
Yeah.
Or like normally if I come to you with a true feeling or concern, like you listen to it and you don't make me feel like I'm ridiculous for feeling this way. It's, well, I can see how what I did made you feel like that. Like that's something that I feel like what was the question?
What have I done better over the years?
Yeah, that's definitely, yes. I thought that's what the question was.
Were there seasons that felt heavier or harder than others?
Yeah, whenever I told you if I knew that it was going to be like this, I may not have married you. I've really felt like that before.
That was
the first couple years of our marriage was rough.
I was still working at Freight Car. So at Freight Car, we had a lot of time off, like a lot of time. And I was in the woods almost every day. He
was very, very hot-headed and temper could just fly. And I was newly postpartum and it was just the first few years of our marriage they were
rough.
They were.
That's where I was at. Oh, are you done with that one?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Answer both these. So we'll go to growth and phase. How have you learned to handle hunting season better over time?
So when the kids say stuff, the kids sometimes will say, why does he likes going hunting? He loves hunting more than he loves us. And they don't say stuff like that much anymore because truly it's gotten better. But they used to make comments like that, like Daddy loves hunting more than he loves us. And I would say stuff like, just like not really try to defend you, which I feel like those were, I shouldn't have had to defend you because those were their feelings and they had a right to feel the way that they felt. But I don't, just to me, what was the question one more time?
What would you say to wives who are struggling? Wait, no, that's a question for later. How have you learned to handle hunting season better?
Yeah. Okay. So I try to look at, I don't know why I said that about the kids, but like I try to look at how much you work. And it's kind of like Ella's learning about ratios right now in school. Like, how much free time do you have away from work? And how much of that free time are you truly trying to put into your family? And I mean, I don't care for you hunting. I mean, you know that. Like, I don't like,
She don't like deer on the wall, though.
I don't. Well, as soon as the man cave outside's finished, they're going out there. But that is just try to think about like, is your husband, or I'm gonna say husband, but is your husband truly trying to put forth effort towards your family? And when I say your family, I mean you as his wife and the kids. Like, and if he is, then it's okay for him to have time in the woods or out in the front yard with his bow. But if he's not, then that's a conversation that you need to have with him. And husbands, you need to listen.
Oh, how has your faith played a role in working through this season? Not just this season, but like,
Marriage.
no,
Period.
not just marriage period, but like dealing with an avid outdoors, not somebody that is dead set on being pretty much. I will throw this in here also. Excuse me. I travel the nation doing hunting shows. I do 2 a year. And so that's also related to hunting. That's the reason I threw that in there. But I can't sit still. I can't be sitting inside the house. So how has your faith played a role in working through this season?
You have to get up and show up even when he doesn't. You don't wait on him to go to church. Don't wait on him to take your kids to church. Like if he's gone to Missouri for 8 days, it was 8 days. If he's gone to Missouri to hunt for 8 days, it is still your responsibility to make sure that yourself and your children are in church. They're learning about Jesus. I make my kids I say make. At first it was make, but they enjoy doing it now. It's a sibling devotional and they do it together. I mean, he is there and he is present, but there's also times that he's not there and he's not present. And it can feel kind of like you're doing the whole church thing with your kids or with yourself alone, but you can't, you have to remain faithful in that.
And I'm going to go off of something you said about being, what do you say, present whenever he's not, or so for the people out there listening, if anybody tells you marriage is 50-50, tell them they're a liar. There's going to be some days that I'm just beat up. Like
99 and 1.
It could be 99 and 1, but it's never going to be 50-50. So if anybody tells you, hey, marriage is supposed to be 50-50, tell them that they're stupid, because there's some days that, and it's not just, and it can't be one-sided. There's days that she might be just down and out where she just don't feel like doing nothing, dead tired. And then I have to step up and do stuff and vice versa.
And there's been those days to where I'm just like, hey, I have a terrible headache today. Like, kids, they're your kids today. Love you. Bye. And I shut the door and
just to put it in like recent terms, whenever I hurt my back 2 days before Thanksgiving. I hobbled around on Thanksgiving, and then my birthday fell on Black Friday, and she went shopping.
ridiculous.
I laid on the couch, and on my birthday, I've always hunted all day on my birthday, and I didn't even get out of the bed that day. Well, she's like, do I need to come home? I was like, no, I'm just going to lay here. But the next day, you had to take me to the chiropractor. Like, I couldn't walk, and I'm just now getting over that. But at that point, it was like a 95-5, because my 5% was like telling the kids quieting down. Your
Yeah.
95 was like, hey, we got to do this and this and this. So this is the advice going out to others. What would you say to wives who are struggling during hunting season?
That it's a season. And I can only speak for you and I, like our marriage. Communication. I've said it numerous times. Communication has to be, and again, husbands or wives. I mean, I guess if it's like a wife that hunts
We know when
and a husband doesn't, you gotta listen. I mean, and like I said, it is just a season, and marriage is full of seasons. It's not just hunting season. Marriage is full of seasons. So, I mean, we'll go months and months and months of just feeling like marriage is just the greatest decision we've ever made. Then we go a solid week and like, he is just on my nerves, you know? I love him. He's my best friend, but I think marriage is just full of seasons. And the thing about seasons is they're temporary. They're seasons.
communication is number one, in my opinion, on everything. In a marriage, it's communication. And then not giving validation, but showing that they're like, she don't do it to me. I'm not going to do it to her. Like a participation trophy, we don't get participation trophies. But if she brings something up, I validate that, or vice versa. If I bring something up, she validates it. But that goes back to communication. So what would you say to the husbands who loves, I'm going to say the outdoors, but also want to love their families?
It says love their families well.
Love their families well.
Hey, you wrote it.
ChatGPT wrote it.
I think we've really already, like I said, just make sure that loving your families well. If you want your family to have the chance to love the outdoors, make sure that you're not making the outdoors all about yourself, because the kids are not going to know, they're not going to love something that they don't know anything about, and something that they're not given the opportunity to love. And so I feel like it's like taking kids to the grocery store.
I'm ready to see where this analogy goes.
Okay, here's where it's going. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I would say you might blow my socks off, but I ain't wearing socks.
Your jokes. Well, we do grocery pickup for a reason, and that's because taking kids inside of the grocery store is just, it kind of sucks the fun out of it. I love them. And
we can't go into a single store without our kids being like, I want this.
Oh, Daddy, look at this. Like, I would love to have this.
Slime,
yeah. I mean, I love my kids. It no longer, when you take them inside of the grocery store, it's no longer just going in with your list or your mental list or whatever and just picking up the 5 things that you need and checking out and putting in your car and leaving. It's no longer just simple. And
we got 3 girls now, so every time we're going down the makeup aisle.
Yeah, but my thing on that, when you take your kids hunting, it's not, like I said earlier, it's no longer just going and just sitting in the woods and looking and whatever it is that you guys do and girls do when you're hunting. It's no longer just that. It's leaves getting rustled. It's
Look at video of Sailor.
Yeah, like Sailor's so loud, and Ella's like, Daddy. And
Ella's right off camera. I keep looking at the screen. I'm sorry, people. I'm not used to having a camera. I took Ella last week and was in an elevated ground blind. And you know how, you don't, but the elevated ground blind has windows that you shoot out of. And
I know what elevated means up off the ground and then up.
Well, it has like little bitty windows that you shoot out of. And Ella was like, there's a deer over there. Point out the window. Yeah. And I'm like, you can't be doing that, babe. Like, you have to keep your hands down. Yeah. And there was a deer. I don't know if I told you about this. There was a deer blowing behind me. She's like, Daddy, it's right there. It's right there. I was like, we have to be quiet and let it walk in. 5 seconds. I swear to you, 5 seconds. Daddy, it's right there. I'm like.
But see, it's like the grocery store.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks the fun out of it. Yeah. But if you want your kids to, I'm not saying you have to take them with you every single time. You can't come get on the camera, baby. I don't want you on the camera. Sorry, but no.
She's off camera. I've already said that, but she's off camera.
But I've not totally lost my train of thought. But it's like if you want them to love the outdoors, I'm not saying that you, oh, I remember what I was saying now. Like you don't have to take them every single time that you go, but just make sure that you at least do put forth an effort to let them be involved. Now, what was it? How can you make sure you love your families well and
Yeah.
the outdoors at the same time? I think one big thing that you can do to love your families well whenever it comes to the outdoors. This has been a big thing for us in our marriage. And I don't know why I haven't said it yet, but make sure that your finances are under control before you go and you spend money that needs to be used to pay something else on new camouflage or like the list of the many things that it could be that you need. And I'm like, you don't need this. Like back in the 1400s, the Indians literally sat at the base of a tree, and that was my whole thing. Like, you touched on it today on one of your Facebook posts about how, like, there are so many things that you want. And, like, you've come to the realization now to where it's like you don't need all of that stuff to be able to go out there and enjoy what God, His creation, because that's one of the things that you truly love about being out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is just being out there and being in the nature. And I mean, personally, I want to be inside of my 70-degree house. You can have at that and go and freeze.
And we're about to get into the biblical side of things, but I want to ask you about how was it seeing me last year? How defeated and how I put too much pressure on myself.
Mhm.
For the people out there that's wanting to be famous or influencers, and people might think, well, you're doing a podcast, you're still trying to do it, but this podcast is not to get famous. I'm telling you, like I said, this podcast gets like four listeners a week.
But you four are
True. What's up?
so important.
But she got to see me at my lowest hunting season last year that I've ever had.
Yeah, it come down to a point to where I just had to tell him basically what you just said. You're chasing everything except for getting out there and sitting on a tree and having alone time in nature, and you're running yourself ragged trying to get the best view or the
Best camera angle.
camera angle. Like you're taking it, you're so far to where you don't even enjoy hunting anymore.
I wish I wouldn't have sold my camera though, because this video would be a lot actual camera.
You can just be thankful for what you have.
I'm
Thank
using
you, Lord.
I'm using a
For what-
$20 Walmart
That's okay.
web camera.
Thank you, Lord, for that $20 Walmart web camera that's sitting right there. Right?
Oh, 100%. Especially because I shouldn't have sold the camera. It was just because I like taking photography too.
But yeah, that was a big thing. It was kind of literally painful to watch, because like he was obsessing over all of the social media aspect of hunting. And it was his dream job to just be able to just
Get paid to hunt.
get paid to hunt. You know, I love to paint. When I was being paid to paint, it sucked every bit of the fun out of, and I got to where I hated to paint. So yeah, it was painful to watch that.
So we are going to go into the book of Ephesians, and the reason why I chose these, or I didn't choose these verses, but it does go along about the spiritual foundation of a house, of a family. But there's one verse in this that a person at my wife's old job told her, and my wife, like I said, she don't care to say stuff and hurt your feelings. And I can't remember, did you tell
You
the guy?
make me sound awful.
I can't remember if you told the guy off or however you did it, but we'll go into it.
Finish telling us, because I don't remember what you're saying, and after you say it, I'll.
The very first verse we're saying, wives, submit to your own husbands, that you're supposed to submit yourself to us, and that.
And he said the woman was a slave. He said that he told me, bless him, he's passed away now, but he told me that the woman was to be a slave. Literally said slave.
Yeah. And that's where interpretation is key. Like, some people interpret the Bible different, but there is no translation that says a wife is to be a slave. And what we're going to go over is Ephesians 5:22 through 30. So I do got some questions for you on it, but
Am I supposed to answer right now about what I said to him?
oh, you can, yeah, because was on that. So yeah, I forgot. This happened years
I
ago.
told him that, I don't remember exactly word for word what I said, but I said that if a husband loves his wife as Jesus loved the church, that she's not going to mind to submit herself to and to be what God has called her to be. But that's not the case most of the time. So, like,
and that gets discussed in this chapter about how the way a husband is supposed to love his wife.
right.
And a lot of I think it's 31 or something like that. Yeah, 31 is preached at a lot of weddings, or I preach it at a lot of weddings. The ones that I've done, I've always made sure I do 31. But so we'll do 22 through 31. But so Ephesians 5:22 through 31. Wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as also Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, just as the church is subject to Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. And then this is where it gets into how a husband is supposed to be. Husband, love your wife, as Christ also loved the church, and he gave himself for her, that he might sanctify and cleanse her with the washing of water by the word, for that might present to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she should be holy and without blemish. So husbands ought to love their own wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as the Lord does the church. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones. And then 31, I'm just throwing it in there. This is where it says, for this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So,
Let's not forget that you said that I was second best. Just kidding. I'm really kidding.
so when you think about the biblical structure of a house, you break down these in your own words.
God, husband, wife, children. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that how you?
God comes first, and then as far as the husband's concerned, God comes first, and then the wife. You're to love the wife, or is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah, like how? Pretty much sum this up in your words. How it says when you think about the biblical household, what does that mean to you?
Well, our kids always get mad and say that you love me more than you
Because I
love
told them
them.
that.
But you don't love them more. You just love them in the way that you're supposed to love your wife. And then because you love your wife the way that you're supposed to love her, you love your kids in the way that you're supposed to love them.
And I quote Ephesians 5:31 to them all the time. They're like, well, why do you love mama more? And I tell them, I say, because it tells us in the Bible at some point, y'all are going to leave and be married to your husband and y'all are going to be one. This is my point.
I am your one. But that it's like that umbrella that you see on Facebook. It's like God, husband.
I heard something on a podcast today. I cannot remember what podcast I was listening to, but they was bringing up that God made Eve from Adam's rib. Out of all the bones, he could have made it out of the Bible. Why was it his rib? And the person...
She is his breath. She breathes his own breath.
The person said he could, if he would have chose the back, that would have put Adam ahead of her because she was at his back. So Jesus, or God, chose the rib because it's always at his side, that they should be side by side. Never. That might be a totally wrong interpretation, but it was pretty good. Never thought of it that way. But I also interpret things different than a lot of people. A lot of difference. From your perspective, what does here we go. This is the reason I brought that up about that guy. From your perspective, what does submission actually look like in a God-centered house or God-centered marriage?
It's a whole lot easier for me to be who I am called to be as your wife when you me and treat me the way that you're supposed to in God's eyes. So, I mean, I don't there are things that, like, take, for example, your boots. Yep, they're there. They're there. That gets on my nerves a whole lot less. His boots are always by that door. And then whenever his house shoes, normally he has his house shoes on. He doesn't have them on right now. He'll take his house shoes off and put his boots on. And then when he takes his boots off, you'll put your house shoes on. So one of the other, and I'm like, fall over, not really fall over them, but like stumble over them, like the door, I have to push them out of the way. And I'm like, it gets on my nerves. But like, I'm a whole lot easier to accept that than I used to be, if that makes sense. Like,
It don't say nowhere in the Bible that I'm to not get on your nerves.
well, it's a good thing. It doesn't say that. But no, in all seriousness, it's a whole lot easier for me too. When you are, and vice versa. When I'm being who I've been called to be as your wife, then I feel like it's a whole lot easier to choose to love me. Because that's what marriage is you every single day choosing to love each other.
And ain't it awesome that
That you're
God,
stuck with me?
I'm stuck with him, but that God loved us so much that he sent Jesus, which in turn loved us so much still that he died for us on a cross, which is the most
Yep.
agonizing death that was in that time. And to this day, a lot of scholars have researched it. To this day, there is no more agonizing death than to be hung on a cross because you literally suffocate.
And then all of the other things that he endured
All the
too, like
beating,
leading up
all
to
the
the cross, the whipping, just everything else. Carrying the cross.
That's one of my favorite scriptures out of the Bible about pick up your cross daily and follow me. And I feel like a lot of people I'm not going to say a lot of people takes it out of context, but I did for a lot of years. That cross, I wish I used to know it because it's one of them facts that I used to know, but how much that cross actually weighed, that he carried it on his back to the hill of Calvary.
After he had been beaten.
His
Like,
ribs, or the skin of his ribs torn off.
One thing that has really helped the kids, and maybe me and you and I should start doing it whenever we are your favorite person and you're not my favorite person. One thing that I said earlier, that the kids are doing this sibling Bible verse or Bible study. And so, like, one thing that they have to do when they're arguing and they're like wishing that they were an only child at this point, honestly, is they have to look at each other in the face and say, "You are fearfully and wonderfully made." And that has really helped them a whole lot to see that, like, God, that's your sibling. They're on your nerves right now, but God made them, and God does not make mistakes. So when he made them, it was not a mistake that he made them. And that has been and he chose me to be your wife. Lucky you.
And the last question is, let me see which one. What do you believe is the husband's role in a Christ-centered marriage?
Husband's role in a Christ-centered marriage. I think we've already touched on it. God above all else, even me. And then wife above everybody else. I mean, and that's hard. Wife above your kid, your parents, like. And when I say that, that doesn't mean that wife gets to be disrespectful to your parents or
vice versa.
Or the parents don't get to be, your parents don't get to be disrespectful.
I was saying the husband don't need to be disrespectful to the in-laws.
Right. Like, you have to respect your in-laws. Like, that is, like, I mean, I say you have to, like, obviously there has to be boundaries sometimes, but like, with, I guess, certain scenarios.
Go to war for this woman any day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Right. But I'm saying, like,
I know what you're saying, but I had to
other people have different
relationships
than like what we have with our family. So, I mean, I'm just saying, generally speaking, like, there needs to be respect all the way around. I'm not saying that the wife gets to disrespect the in-laws, but I am saying that wife comes before the in-laws and the kids. And a lot of people struggle with that the wife comes before the kids. A lot of people struggle with that, but it does say that. It says it. But whenever the wife comes before the kids and the wife is loved and taken care of in the way that God intended for it to be, the kids are going to be loved and taken care of. So it's not like just because the wife comes before the kids, I put quotation marks there because that's what it, basically says. It's not just because it says that in the Bible that the kids are just chopped liver. The kids are going to be taken care of.
And this is I guess, a PSA to the men out there. This is your person. Your wife is your person. And I'm not saying go fight every single person you see, but do not let anybody, including yourself, disrespect her.
Or the kids.
Or the kids.
Like, that is a big, I will say, if he ever hears the kids being disrespectful to mama, it's hey, you do not talk to your mama like that.
And the reason I bring that up and the reason I say even you don't disrespect them is I know how it is to work on construction sites and everybody's talking about their intimate life with their wife in front of everybody. That's between you, your wife, and God. Nobody else needs to know that. And I have almost gotten into an altercation because somebody said something sideways about my wife at work. And I would have definitely lost my job, but that was a risk I was willing to take because I'm not going to let anybody disrespect my wife.
Yeah. Well,
but I also got angry.
That person was, I don't even know who it was, and he just said that just to have a dig at you. You know what I'm saying? It was just because he probably knew that was the one thing that he could say.
He was about to find out that day.
Well, Lord forgive him.
Yeah, at that time I wasn't in church. Now I might, I wouldn't sit down and think about it because, and Maggie gets mad at me all the time for, not really mad at me, but for quoting this, hey, Jesus flipped tables. I will flip a table over this woman.
Well, I believe
if it's righteous, what Jesus did was righteous anger.
But also, whenever you know that somebody is just intentionally trying to get under your skin.
Stealing your joy.
Yeah, don't let them don't let the devil have the satisfaction of stealing your joy, because that's all that is.
Yeah. Well, this is our first video podcast and the first time I've used a mixer, and I don't know how this audio is going to sound, so this is our test. I hope y'all tune in next week. Make sure y'all go over to all the social medias and like them and follow them. And now we got YouTube. All the previous podcasts are now on YouTube, just under the audio, it shows the clip art. And I want to thank my wife for joining me today. After church, it's 9:48. We're normally already in bed, and that's where I'm headed right now. And hopefully come Saturday or next week, I can have a hunt update of how this weekend goes, because the rut is kicking off here in the South. So
I thought it was already kicking off.
In Tennessee it is. Now it's just now kicking off in Alabama.
We live 30 seconds away from it.
I'm telling you, because Alabama has pretty much five different ruts in the area that I hunt.
We need to do a podcast in the future of things that I think that you firmly believe.
Yeah.
These same deer live here as they do in Alabama, 30 seconds down the road.
I'm telling you, most time they don't start at where I hunt at in Alabama. One of the places I hunt in Alabama, they normally don't start until Christmas. Well, Tennessee just got over. My brother hunted today and had 5 does on the field and no bucks. But could be he shot all the bucks, all I know. Him and my niece and nephew.
They have went to town.
They have killed 5 bucks in 1 week.
What is is it 2 per person?
2 per person.
Okay.
Cassidy's killed, no, they killed 4 bucks. Cassidy's killed 2. She's tagged out. Connor killed 1. Kevin killed 1. So they've killed 4.
And you ain't killed none.
I ain't killed none. I killed a doe in Missouri.
I killed a buck with my minivan.
That was the picture I used on social media.
Yeah.
But thank y'all. I hope y'all will tune in next week. And like I said, go over, follow all the socials, share this with somebody. Somebody out there needs to hear this. Maybe it's the 4 people that listens every week. Maybe it's somebody out there that's never heard of an outdoorsman actually sit down and get real talking about the trials that a wife faces during hunt season. So thank y'all, and y'all have a blessed week.